In this pod slice summary of the Jordan Peterson podcast, Duck Dynasty stars Willie and Korie Robertson share insights into their activity of starting Tread Lively Productions, whose first film, The Blind, focuses on their family history. The Robertsons emphasize the importance of cherishing the hard times, insisting that individuals who feel weak can still find meaning and purpose when they surrender their lives to a higher power. The Robertsons also reflect on the success of Duck Dynasty, attributing its appeal to the show's authentic representation of family values and a balance between reality and fiction. They believe the familial dynamics displayed resonated with viewers who could identify similar traits in their own families. As Willie Robertson states, "People saw parts of their family in our family. It resonated especially across generations." Faith also played a significant role in the show's success. The Robertsons recount ending every episode with a shared family prayer around the dinner table, a simple tradition that evidently had a deep impact on the audience. They note that many viewers expressed how this reminded them of their own past family habits or ideals, sparking a wave of nostalgia that connected them even more to the show. Discussing the significance of communal mealtime, Dr. Peterson recognizes the rare and special practice of humans sharing food with others. This act, he suggests, is significant in the socialization of children, the cultivation of manners, and the opportunity to express gratitude. Dr. Peterson asserts that practices like prayer create an awareness in individuals about what they should be grateful for, simultaneously serving to counteract resentment. In response, the Robertsons expressed surprise at the impact this small tradition had on their audience. They also discussed their own upbringing, growing up with modest resources and sharing meals that felt like a big TV show. This, they explain, is where they learned important values and developed their close-knit family bond. Lastly, discussing shows like The Simpsons and the Trailer Park Boys, Dr. Peterson highlights a common thread of laughter inside love that resonates with audiences. Despite character flaws and biting humor, both shows have characters bound by a formidable bond of familial love, much like Duck Dynasty. This optimal balance between cooperation and competition gives the humor a special flavor that viewers can appreciate without feeling alienated. The Robertsons wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment, stating that they've always maintained a profound love for each other despite the jibes and jokes. They advise that one should not take oneself too seriously, but should always ensure that love underpins their interactions. As the conversation progresses, the Robertsons delve into the unique structure of Duck Dynasty. Describing it as a combination of reality TV and sitcom, they admit to the balance they aimed to strike between reality and playing along, calling it guided reality. Their approach was successful partly due to the unique familial dynamics and the characteristic humor they shared. For instance, they shared about their method of feeding Uncle Si with pop culture references, which he would incorporate in a way that was hilariously incongruous. Willie Robertson even received affirmation from former President Bill Clinton, who commended the show because it was real. An intriguing point raised during the conversation is the analogy to children's role-playing games. Dr. Peterson observes that the Duck Dynasty crew's approach of defining their roles and then improvising within them mimics how children pretend play. Echoing this, Korie Robertson agrees, explaining that the characters on the show indeed had strong personalities and unique roles. Further, Korie Robertson admits that the first season was a balancing act. They wanted the storylines to be entertaining while also representing their true selves. For instance, she provides an example of a storyline that would have involved scolding their husbands in front of their parents, which they as a family would consider disrespectful and wouldn't do in real life. Therefore, they had to balance staying true to their values and making the scenes engaging for the audience. As the dialogue progressed, Willie Robertson reveals how he often fed Uncle Si pop culture references for comedic effect. Despite Si usually getting the references wrong, it ended up making the scenes even funnier. This level of nuanced humor, coupled with the authenticity of family dynamics, is what made Duck Dynasty a hit with viewers. Interestingly, the discussion segues into Dr. Peterson drawing parallels between the Duck Dynasty script improvisation hybrid approach with kids' role-play games. He remarks how kids assign roles and play them out within an agreed-upon script idea, which is quite similar to how the Duck Dynasty's episodes were planned. Korie Robertson finds the comparison fitting, reflecting that it felt exactly like what they did on the show. Ultimately, throughout the podcast, it's clear that the Duck Dynasty stars cherish their unique balance of reality and sitcom-style storytelling. Their ability to maintain their own personalities and values while creating engaging, funny content is largely what contributed to the show's success. It's fascinating how they skillfully managed to shape their reality into a sitcom, making it a delight for the audience to watch. The Robertsons elaborate on navigating real-life familial situations and balancing them with maintaining show entertainment. They refer to a scrapped scene where they would have needed to act contrarily to their real-life demeanor, replacing it with a scene that depicted their genuine reactions, illustrating their insistence on upholding personal integrity in the show. Willie Robertson and Korie Robertson provide insight into the dynamics they maintained within the family, breaking away from generic television tropes to keep the narrative authentic and relatable. The bumbling buffoon father stereotype in sitcoms was anathema to them, and they aimed to portray more realistic, respectful parent-child interactions. They vehemently opposed the normalization of familial contempt prevalent in many sitcom storylines and strove to portray a realistic, respectful family unit. Dr. Peterson adds a compelling perspective and draws parallel with children's play. If children during pretend play deviate from the assumed roles and the implicit rules of the game, it swiftly loses its appeal. Similarly, the Robertsons, while elaborating on their characters in Duck Dynasty, even if scripted, remained committed to reflect their true personalities. Thus, Dr. Peterson asserts this maintained authenticity, reflecting a deeper truth and enhancing viewer engagement, much like children engaged in role play. The Robertsons also had to confront occasional misinterpretations from the producers. The latter sometimes had a differing idea of familial norms, expecting more stereotypical reactions from the members. To cope with this, the Robertsons had to remain open-minded, striking a balance between integrating the producer's perspective and staying true to their roots. The Robertsons also managed to inject elements of delicate humor via cleverly used cultural references. A prominent example is the character Uncle Si, frequently provided with pop culture references by Willie Robertson. Although he often got them wrong, it added to the humorous tone of the show. Circling back to the reality sitcom blend, Willie Robertson reflects on how his wife, Korie Robertson, initially suggested that their unique family dynamics could make for an engaging reality show. Although skeptical at first, he was able to see from an outsider's perspective that their family was indeed far from ordinary, further cementing the idea for Duck Dynasty. Moreover, the first season required them to strike a well-defined balance where storylines were entertaining yet true to their personalities. For instance, they refused a plot that would have necessitated scolding their husbands on camera, an act they considered disrespectful. The discussion also brings to light the interesting analogy of Duck Dynasty's formula to children's pretend play games. They all played their roles within an agreed-upon framework that had an element of improvisation, much like children do. This strategy appears to have been a tremendous success, leading to the blending of scripted scenarios with an authentic representation of their family dynamics. In the podcast, Willie Robertson recalls an anecdote from their show where they depicted the raw and gritty reality of hunting, an act that cemented Robertson's anti-establishment ethos and blue-collar values. Simultaneously, he reflects on how his father, Phil Robertson, thought undertaking the Duck Dynasty show would potentially enhance their business growth. Exploring the evolution of the show, Dr. Peterson finds an intriguing amalgamation of deep-set American cultural facets that shaped the narrative. Examples include a rebellious lone cowboy figure, an anti-establishment symbol simultaneously entrenched in tradition. This character, alongside the family's Protestant evangelistic interests and entrepreneurial pursuits, all seamlessly intersected in the show's format. The Robertsons' family dynamic also emerges as a central player in their journey. As Willie recalls, each member from the youngest nephew to the oldest uncle found a renewed zeal for life through the show, irrespective of their initial reservation or skepticism. Citing a heartwarming aspect of their experience, Korie Robertson acknowledges that the filming process allowed the family to spend more time together. Framing their entire journey as a blessing, she observes that her children enjoyed extensive intimacy with their grandparents, a result of consistently being on set together. Now reflecting on the trajectory of their lives, Willie amusingly highlights how their sudden fame sparked different reactions within the family. Phil was initially skeptical of the company's growth, uncertain about the longevity of their product's demand, whereas Kay, Willie's mother, jumped at the opportunity of becoming a star. Regardless of their varying perspectives, they all experienced an exhilarating ride with the show, a thrilling chapter in their lives they couldn't possibly have foreseen. Lastly, Korie emphasizes the family's rooted and grounded values, their unwavering faith, and their commitment to their hometown. She credits these factors as their safeguards amidst the whirlwind of fame, preventing them from turning into raving, narcissistic alcoholics. Their familial bond and collective possessing of the fame experience ensured they didn't fester the lonely isolation typically associated with public attention. Despite immense opportunity to transform their lives radically, the Robertsons chose not to, citing their deep family connection and multi-generational history in Louisiana as vital, non-negotiable aspects of their lives. Their decision not to venture into broader horizons speaks volumes about their profound understanding and appreciation of their unique identity, location, and the timeless traditional values that shaped their lives. In this section, Dr. Peterson delves into the impact early exposure to video technology had on the Robertsons' journey to fame and business expansion. Willie's father, Phil Robertson, started using video for personal projects in the 80s, filming hunting expeditions that showcased a raw and rugged aspect of Southern American life. After initial apprehension due to low sales, Phil continued to create content with the aid of his sound guy from the local church and released more footage every couple of years. Aiming to widen their audience, the Robertson family struck a deal with retail giant Walmart, an opportunity that presented their duck calls and hunting videos to a broader national audience. Despite the widespread attention, the family business stayed deeply personal with Willie, recalling how their home number was listed as the business contact. In an amusing recollection, Korie details how their customer service and order management processes were humbly run out of their home. Fielding calls from all over the country directly, she recounts taking down orders on paper plates and napkins. The Robertsons' long-standing relationship with Walmart ultimately set the stage for their Duck Dynasty show, where their products became the #1 sellers in various departments, an accomplishment not even achieved by corporate magnates such as Disney or Coca-Cola. This unique feat established the Robertsons as a groundbreaking name in the world of merchandising. In Jordan's examination of the Robertson family's narrative, he references the biblical story of Moses and the burning bush from Exodus. He draws parallels between the story and the Robertsons' journey, suggesting that sometimes the calling of destiny cannot be ignored. In this anecdote, Moses, although initially a nobody, is destined to carry the torch of a purpose greater than himself, a journey that resonates with the unusual yet remarkable path the Robertsons tread. From the humble beginnings of marketing themselves through VHS tapes in the local Walmart to becoming a household name watched by millions, the Robertsons' story is a testament to staying true to their roots while finding adventure and fulfillment in the family business. Dr. Peterson begins by noting the profound parallels between the biblical story of Moses and the Robertsons' journey, emphasizing that unconventional and surprising opportunities can spark meaningful journeys if harnessed with courage and discipline. For Moses, it was the burning bush, and for Willie's father, it was his interest in video technology and duck hunting. Dr. Peterson warns against dismissing such burning opportunities, alluding to the flourishing of Duck Dynasty once it partnered with Walmart. Drawing on their respective backgrounds, both Willie and Korie trace their success to a willingness to take risks and face the potential for failure. Korie's family business saw many ups and downs, but fostered an environment where failure was acceptable. A grounding in faith allowed them to see past momentary setbacks. This mindset was integrated into the growth of Duck Commander. Willie distinguishes their journey with Duck Commander from other ventures, describing it as a single-minded, all-in type of commitment. This attitude allowed the Robertsons to keep their eye on their collective goal and turn every setback into a lesson. Dr. Peterson emphasizes the idea of every failure being an opportunity for learning and growth. There is no waste if you're focused on the task at hand. Even if the immediate goal isn't achieved, the experience and knowledge gained become building blocks for future successes. Discussing the concept of faith, both Willie and Korie explain how it not only offers resiliency in the face of failure, but also provides a deeper definition of success. For them, success is about faithfulness, a healthy marriage, a loving family, and an enriching work environment. They emphasize that their faith is implicit in their behaviors and relationships, not something explicitly preached. Their shared belief is that nothing is wasted represents their philosophy, that every experience, good or bad, holds a worth and contributes to the overall scheme of life. The ultimate manifestation of this idea lies in the figure of Jesus Christ, whose sacrificial death, seemingly a failure, is interpreted as an act of redemptive love. Furthermore, Dr. Peterson outlines the hierarchy of values that he sees exemplified in the Robertsons' life in the show. This approach provides a framework for defining success and enriching life that is reflected in the wider appeal and success of Duck Dynasty. Breaking down the transcript, we see a multifaceted discussion on the idea of success, the significant role of faith in the lives of Willie and Korie Robertson, as well as an in-depth discussion on their current and future projects. Continuing the conversation about success, Dr. Peterson dissects the common and flawed view of success as an incessant pursuit of pleasure, leading to self-destruction. He contrasts this self-destructive pursuit with the Robertsons' prosaic definition of success as a good marriage, healthy family, and a strong network of friends, highlighting the importance of having gratitude and a balanced perspective. He points out how their faith in God serves as a firm foundation that underpins their marriage, family, friends, and subsequently informs and influences their ventures. Imparting their understanding of faith, Willie and Korie Robertson explain its significant influence in keeping them humble during their journey with Duck Dynasty. They reference scriptures to emphasize how their faith is reflected in their actions and attitudes, particularly the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, and self-control, which intertwine with their daily life. Playing a crucial role in deciding their actions on the show, their faith helped them avoid taking themselves too seriously and becoming too focused on success. Willie mentions how understanding the transient nature of life, made possible by his faith, allows him to maintain a lighthearted and playful attitude. For the Robertsons, faith serves as their compass, guiding their reactions to failures, helping them balance their seriousness, preventing egotistical behavior, and protecting them from falling into the trap of narcissism. Rounding off the conversation, Willie and Korie talk about their newest venture, Tread Lively Productions, a testament to their belief in the impact of entertainment. Their upcoming film, The Blind, recounts the turbulent early life of Willie's parents, with their faith playing a crucial role in navigating their challenges and transforming their lives. Highlighting this heart-wrenching family story, Korie discusses how this journey shows that God often uses the weak and flawed. Touching on Phil's encounter with a pastor at a bar, Willie reinforces the importance of faith in personal transformations. The Robertsons' conversation is a mix of deeply personal anecdotes and introspective thinking, flavored with faith and determination that captures their attitudes toward life, relationships, faith, and work. Their story is one of resilience, faith, and recognition of the potential in every setback, encapsulated in the tagline, "Nothing is wasted." In this conversation, the participants delve into the themes of flaws, redemption, and hope, using experiences and examples from their own lives. Dr. Peterson emphasizes how the imperfections of characters in literature, particularly biblical stories, reveal intriguing journeys forward for flawed individuals. Imperfections, according to Dr. Peterson, shouldn't be seen as a roadblock to progress, but rather an opportunity for growth and learning. Elaborating on this concept, Dr. Peterson gives the example of biblical figure Moses, who, despite his inadequacies, became an archetypal leader, essentially proving that people can often achieve success because of, not in spite of, their flaws. The film The Blind seems to encapsulate this narrative theory, portraying how flaws can lead to transformative experiences and redemption. In the movie, the early life of Willie's parents, Phil and Kay, reflects a significant transformation fueled by faith. It transitions from Phil's wayward past, characterized by his struggles with alcoholism and law enforcement, to embracing faith, leading towards a more prosperous path. This humble origin story resonates the message that no situation is too dire or person too flawed to be devoid of hope or the possibility of redemption. In terms of the challenges they faced with distributing the film, Willie and Korie explain that they've experienced some obstacles. Being a faith-based movie, their film faced some resistance, but their successful commercial track record helped negotiate challenges. They express gratitude towards their distribution company Fathom and remain optimistic about the film's reception, given the commendable early responses from those who have seen it. Sharing the release plans for the film, they announce it's set to premiere on September 28th, and note that people can check their website for theater listings. They also delve into how their connection with Dr. Jordan Peterson stemmed from their mutual respect and admiration for each other's work. As the discussion continues, the participants explore their meeting at a corporate event and the subsequent development of their engagement. They describe an amusing quirk involving a miscommunication about the nature of Willie's involvement in the same event as Dr. Peterson, which brought a lighthearted note to the conversation. As the conversation winds to an end, Dr. Peterson commends the Robertson couple on their successful marriage, noting their inherent understanding and respect for each other. He also expresses his excitement for their film, The Blind, and the success he believes is inevitable. The conversation continues with Dr. Peterson switching to his clinical psychologist persona, observing the robust and playful dynamics between Willie and Korie Robertson. He notes the couple's ability for easy turn-taking in dialogues, contributing to their conversation's fluidity and comprehension. This mutual respect and understanding play a significant role in their successful marriage and cooperative ventures, including their film, The Blind. Following this, Dr. Peterson expresses his anticipation for The Blind, stating his high hopes for its success and impact. He is particularly interested in learning how the Robertsons translated their family experiences onto the silver screen, signifying the podcast's imminent continuation on the daily WUI Plus platform, focusing on marital dialogue within the Duck Dynasty. Grateful for the engaging conversation, the Robertsons share their pleasure in participating in the podcast. A brief audio sequence ensues, possibly a snippet from their movie, portraying the life story of Willie's parents, Phil and Kay. The excerpt reflects the transformative journey from a life of lawbreaking and alcoholism to faith-driven redemption. The dialogue presents the core plot, where Phil's recklessness tarnishes his relationships. Kay's entry brings necessary conflict and change, signifying her as a catalyst for the transformation. A preacher man's rejection and Phil's subsequent loneliness lays the foundation for their redemption theme. The couple's resilience amid marital challenges and their fight to keep their union intact becomes a significant aspect of their narrative. The sneak peek also delivers an early interaction between a younger Phil and Kay. Their initial banter, possibly hinting at an early spark of attraction, helps build the backstory of their relationship growth. The struggle of isolation, the fight for marriage, and the potential of redemption are the main recurring themes throughout these dialogues, underscoring the narrative focus of The Blind. The movie evidently navigates through the emotional landscapes of anger, loneliness, conflict, attraction, and ultimately redemption, packing a potent message for audiences about transformation and hope. Check out the full podcast by clicking the link in the description below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for listening to this podcast summary episode of The Pod Slice.